What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. If you're watching this on October 31st, which I hope is when this video goes live, happy Halloween. I'm gonna be honest, I've been a little behind on the YouTube videos lately. I had some friends in town and I did film a video, but I wasn't super happy with how it came out. I'm also just trying to think of where I want to focus my time and energy when it comes to content creation. I'm curious to know where you guys find yourself watching the most content and what your favorite kind of content to watch is. I'm trying to get more used to the short form content and figuring out what types of things I can create. The nice thing about short form content is that you can create things a lot more quickly and just put a lot more out there, because it does take quite a bit of time for me to film and edit a full YouTube video. But favorites videos are actually really fun and easy for me to film and edit. So I know these sit down videos aren't really on trend anymore, but I find a lot of comfort in them. I'm just talking to you guys about all the things I loved for the month and catching up with you. So yeah, if you don't mind, I would love to know what your social media consumption looks like and what you would like to see from me. Okay, enough rambling, let's get into the favorites. As usual, we are starting off with my fashion favorites for the month. And in October, I finally went thrifting. I don't know what's taken me so long. I think just because when I moved here, I knew that the thrifting scene was gonna be a lot different and more expensive. But I made it out to Williamsburg and did some thrift shopping and vintage shopping. I did vlog it all, so you will hopefully see that in my next video. It was such a fun shopping trip and I absolutely loved everything that I got. My favorite purchase from that day though, and my favorite purchase of the month, is this suede bomber jacket. So this was definitely the most expensive purchase that I made that day, but I purchased it from a store called Mirth Vintage, which is such a great curated vintage shop. I was actually kind of on the hunt for like a dark brown chocolate leather jacket that day. I saw some that weren't really my size or my style, but when I saw this one, I thought it was so unique and beautiful. Mirth Vintage actually had two kind of similar leather jackets like this that were both in this lighter tan color, and again, I just felt like it was so unique because you typically see a lot of the styles of jackets in much darker colors. I'm so happy I got it because it fits me so well and it's just so comfortable to wear. This is actually labeled as a men's size small, whereas my other leather bomber jacket that I have in black is a large, I believe. So this one is much less oversized. It just fits my proportions a lot better, and the material is actually just so much less stiff and heavy than the leather jackets. The color just makes it so much more casual and easy to wear during the daytime. So I've been reaching for it a ton, and I think this will be just like a great piece to wear year round. I can definitely see myself wearing it a ton in the spring and even in the summer if I go somewhere that happens to be a little bit colder. My next favorite is a piece of jewelry, and it's actually this chain necklace that I'm wearing. I went to this place called Canal Street Market last weekend, and I think they have vendors come maybe every other weekend. I love that market so much. I've been to a lot of these like small business types of market pop-ups, but there were just so many great vendors that day selling all sorts of things that were totally my style. There were some vintage sellers, some small boutique brands, and I found that everything there was just super reasonably priced. Spent a long time at this one jewelry booth. I think it was called Baroque Tech, but I talked to the owner, Akiko. She was super sweet, and she had a ton of really cool handmade high quality jewelry pieces. So I ended up purchasing this chain necklace from her. It's actually super similar to this one necklace that I fell in love with from Monica Vinader. I was actually planning on purchasing that necklace during their Black Friday sale, but yeah, I am absolutely in love with this little chain. I've been wearing it pretty much every single day. It's just like the perfect size and weight, and I really like the shape of the chain links. It's super cute. It's not too dainty, but it's not too much of a statement either, and it looks really cute worn on its own or with a little pendant like this layered. And this is the little combo that I've been wearing nonstop since. Akiko also had a bunch of really cool silver pieces, and I've kind of been getting a little bit more into silver jewelry lately, so I did end up ordering a cute little silver chain ring from her that she was going to custom make because they didn't have my size. I will link her Instagram down below. I don't believe her website is set up yet. Okay, last thing that I wanted to mention really quickly is another piece of jewelry. It's actually this little ear cuff that I'm wearing right now, and I guess the trend for this month has just been really loving shopping in person and just getting to see and interact with all these really cool brands, and definitely getting to experience a lot more in person. So there is a jewelry brand called Catbird that is based in New York, and I've had a couple of pieces from them on my wish list. So when I finally went to the store and tried some things on, I ended up just leaving with this little ear cuff. I think it's so cute, and it just adds like a little bit of edge and a little bit of extra gold and bling to my ear without having to get another piercing. I was actually thinking about getting a third lobe piercing, but you can actually just position the cuff low enough where I wouldn't really need one. But yeah, I've just been loving this cuff. After the first day of wearing it, I forgot to take it off before I went to sleep, but I was surprised to find that it was still totally secure the next day. And it actually is more difficult to take it off because I did like bend it a little bit to keep it secured to my ear. So I decided to just leave it in, which is great because I'm super lazy when it comes to putting on and switching out my jewelry. It is solid 14 karat gold, so I can shower with it no problem, don't have to worry about it. And I just love it when I find something that's truly effortless that just elevates your style a little bit more. Moving on to beauty, I have one makeup favorite from the month, and it's actually a new eyeshadow palette. So I've mentioned this a couple of times on my channel, but personally for me, I really think Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows are my favorite. I just find that the color selection and the textures and pigmentation and usability of her eyeshadows just make for like a really elevated but everyday eyeshadow experience, if that makes sense. Like, they're all colors that you can definitely wear on an everyday basis, but there's just something about her eyeshadows I feel that just look and feel nicer than a typical neutral eyeshadow palette. So she comes out with these instant eye palettes every like holiday season, and the previous year's one was silver, and I have mentioned that as one of my favorites. So this one is new for 2021. It's the Smoky Eyes Are Forever instant eye palette, and this one is in black, which does look kind of plain compared to her other palette packaging. There is just like a little bit of glitter in there. It's not just like a plain black plastic, but I don't really mind that. It's what's on the inside that counts for me. So this is what the inside of the palette looks like, and it's honestly not that different from her previous ones. However, if you do have last year's palette like I do, then I do think this one is different enough, and it's actually a really nice complement to last year's palette. So my favorite things about this palette and last year's is that they do have like more neutral transition and like brown shades that I feel like are just essential to any eye look. So this shade right here next to the green is actually like my favorite shade in the entire palette. It's just such a pretty transition color to put in the crease. And then my other most used shades in this palette in particular are actually the greens, which were what ultimately convinced me to get this palette, because I have been on the hunt for some nice like olive toned eyeshadows. I am wearing it on my eyes today. It is pretty subtle. Like, I think that's the thing about Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows, is that no matter what, they still look really pretty and wearable. So it's not like these greens are super intense or anything, but I think it's just like a really subtle, nice switch up from my typical like bronzy, golden, glittery eyeshadows that I typically go for. This palette also has slightly different finishes in eyeshadows from her previous palettes. There are a couple of shades in here that have a little bit more of like a glitter topper type of texture to it. They're still super smooth, not chunky at all, and they really do kind of like blend out into a really nice fine glitter once you kind of buff it in. But I think those shades are really pretty, and they do complement the previous palette really well, because that palette just has more of your typical like pigmented shimmery colors. So yeah, just wanted to give this a shout out. I know Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows are super expensive. I picked this up during the Sephora Friends and Family sale, and the Sephora holiday sale is also coming up. But this has been my go-to eyeshadow palette lately. If I'm not using this, then I'm most likely using the Charlotte Tilbury cream eyeshadow. Next up, I have a quick shout out for a skincare product. I talked about this when I purchased it in a vlog. I got it from Yes Style, and this is the By Wish Trend Polyphenols in Propolis 15% Ampule. It's a pretty small bottle. It says it's 30 milliliters or 1 fluid ounce, and I've already used up almost half the bottle, and I've had it for maybe about a month at this point. I've mentioned before that I really like incorporating Propolis products in my skincare routine because they just have so many benefits. They're anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and it's also really moisturizing and soothing. So this is the latest one that I've tried, and I've been really liking it. I've been pretty aggressive with the Stridex Salicylic Acid acne pads recently. Those really just kind of dry out your skin and get into your skin barrier. I've been using this product almost every morning, and I feel like it's just helped my moisture barrier so much. I haven't really felt my skin get super irritated. It's also helped keep my skin nice and hydrated. I haven't even been really using my hyaluronic acid serum. So yeah, I just wanted to give it a shout out because I feel like it has been making a difference, and with skincare products it can be hard because you sometimes like expect to see like a noticeable difference on your skin. But for me, I just know that this is one of the few things I've incorporated recently, and I really think my skin has been in a pretty good spot. Lastly, we're going to talk about some home lifestyle stuff. I keep needing to turn up the exposure on my camera because I feel like the clouds just keep coming in and it's getting darker by the minute. But the one home thing that I really wanted to talk about in this month's favorites are these candles. So this is from the brand called Mala the Brand, and I actually heard about these from Jamie Page Beauty. I believe this brand is based in Vancouver or somewhere in Canada, but the brand is doing really well. I think they only started a year or two ago, and they're like at Nordstrom and Bloomingdale's, and you can find them just like at a bunch of different places. So I picked up 2 candles. The weather is definitely getting chillier, and it's been a lot of fun burning these candles. This one is the chai scent. Absolutely perfect for fall. Pretty bad at describing scents, but I think it smells like how you would expect. It's just a nice, yummy, spicy scent. And this is what it looks like on the inside. I have burned it, and it has a wooden wick, which this is my first time having a candle with the wooden wick, but it's been pretty cool. I think it works well. You just kind of push off the burnt part in order to trim the wick before lighting it again, and it comes off pretty easy. I've been able to use my electronic lighter and it works fine with it. And then the other one is definitely like, I think the more special of the bunch. This is the cereal scent. When I first got this, I was like, oh, it smells like Lucky Charms, but no, I'm just bad with cereal names apparently. This smells exactly like Fruit Loops. It's such a delicious scent that I didn't really think I would like so much. This makes total sense, but I kind of realized that candles smell a little bit differently once they're actually lit. So I just need to remember to keep that in mind when smelling candles, because there was another one that I was considering keeping where I loved the scent of it. Like I would totally wear that as a perfume, but as a candle, I don't really know if it would have worked that well because it was a little bit too like fresh and fruity almost. The cereal scent is like quite sweet when you just smell it, but I think it just smells so delicious once it's actually lit. It's really warm and comforting without being like a pumpkin pie type of scent. I did try lighting both candles at the same time the other day, and it worked really well. Smelled like a yummy sweet fall scent. So I would definitely recommend these 2 candles together in particular. But yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to these candles because the scents have just made me so happy, and I feel like the quality really is there. I haven't ventured out into too many different candle brands. In the past, I always kind of felt like you needed a bigger candle in order to smell it in a room, but these candles are much smaller than the Bath & Body Works ones, and they're super fragrant. Burnt them for multiple hours at this point, and it's barely made a dent in the candle. And yeah, this brand is just doing all sorts of good things. Everything is like made out of recycled materials. They're also not super expensive, and I also love the cute little like paint can packaging. Okay, we're on to the last favorite of the month. I felt like I spent my sweet old time talking about my clothing and jewelry purchases and then just zipped through the rest of the stuff, but here we are. I have a quick little snack favorite that I wanted to mention. I got these at Whole Foods. These are the small batch organics coconut toffee granola bark. This is my second bag that I've picked up from Whole Foods, and I really like having these as a snack. A lot of the times when I get hungry after lunch, I am craving something a little bit sweet, and a lot of the times I'll just like eat a piece of chocolate or something to curb my sweet tooth, but not actually be satisfied because I'm still hungry. So I'm not saying that this is like the healthiest snack to have, but it's definitely a lot more satisfying than a piece of candy or whatever. I love crunchy things, and this granola bark just has a really nice texture to it. The full-size pieces that come in this bag are actually really huge, and if you eat an entire one, it's like seriously filling. So I always just kind of like break it up before I eat it. But yeah, would totally recommend trying these out. I think I also saw something pretty similar at Trader Joe's, which I might need to go back and try out as well. So yeah, that is it for my October favorites. I can't believe the holiday season is already here. I feel like things just go so fast here on out, and the new year is gonna be here before we know it. I'm going to try and quickly edit this video so you guys can see it before October is over. But if you aren't already, make sure you're following me on Instagram. My username is @AllisonCorinne, and then I am also on TikTok, which I will try to link below. Like I said, I'm trying to keep up with the trends a little bit more. So if you're active on any of those platforms, please give me a follow. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!